you state your name, please?
Jim Shehan?
And are you the house owner?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you owned the house here?
17 years.
17 years. And did you live here prior to owning a house here in the area?
No, I lived in the South Hills of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. And do you have children who live in the house?
Yes, 2.
Okay. What are their ages?
Right now it's 18 and 16.
Okay. And they lived here all their lives then? What's your occupation?
Cabinet maker.
Okay. And have you been doing that for a long time?
Yeah, almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Since I graduated high school, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know it's been that long since I graduated high school.
So since you've been living in the area, since the gas extraction started, since they started putting in the wells, have you noticed a lot of change in the community?
Yes. Some are making money on it, and it's costing others.
Yeah.
Yeah. My neighbors up over the hill, they're getting a good chunk of change off of some of the gas. I think it's getting tapped up, not off their property, but off the park, county park.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making profit off of that. They also lost their water from it too, but as far as I know, Atlas has been giving them water for it. Water Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm not making no money.
No. Has that caused any type of division in the community?
No, not that I'm aware of.
No.
People being jealous, you mean?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
Also issues with people not wanting to talk because they feel threatened by the gas company or anything.
No.
They've been
Whenever
told
they're
not to
making
talk.
money, they brag about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever it's costing you money, you bitch about it. So.
Yeah. What personal experiences have you had with the effects of the gas extraction?
The only personal experience I've had is when I noticed I started getting sand in my water.
Uh-huh.
And whenever I noticed I was getting sand in the water, I talked to my neighbors up here that lost their water from Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me the name and card of a man that works for Atlas in charge of just taking care of people's water.
Mm-hmm.
I forget when I did that. It was last year, the end of last year, which would be the end of 2009. And he came up and he looked at my water, sand in it. I showed him and I kept it.
Uh-huh.
And he said, yeah, it looks like frack sand, his exact quote. And he said that he would get me drinking water immediately, which that week he did. There was Dean's Water Service came up with 25 gallons of water. I had an account sent up through Atlas, through Dean's, which lasted approximately to the end of 2009. Whenever I went to get water in 2010, Dean's Water Service told me that my account has been closed. And I sort of figured that it was just a year-end type of deal, that you have to renew it every year. I tried to call the man up. His name was, which he was a young guy, very polite, but he never returned my calls. Since then, this year, well, last year they only bought me 50 gallons of water. So they came in 5, just drinking water is all it was. Told me keep an eye out if I notice any more sand coming, because I brought him up about my water pump. Now, what's it doing to my submersible pump? I'm sucking sand through it all the time. I have a pool outside. What's that doing to my filter in the pool? I have a hot tub, which that's how I noticed that sand was in there, because I've seen it. When you get in the shower, you can't notice sand.
Yeah.
I noticed some sand. I started paying closer attention. Some sand in my dishwasher. There'd be a little bit left in the bottom of a cup if it was upside down. Where before that you just think it was your detergent or something and you dump it out.
Yeah.
But that's the only acquaintance I've ever had with Atlas. Though it's just because I noticed I was having a problem.
Okay. You say that your neighbor lost water? Does that mean that they're
the neighbors up over the hill? They had a spring, and it's a farmhouse up there, an old spring that was never went dry. And as soon as I started tapping in there, they lost their water. And they both have water buffaloes up there now. That I'm aware of.
Okay. And are you paying for water now? That they?
Yeah. Well, I bought my first one this year. I went and bought the first 25 gallons. And I don't go through a lot of water. It's just me and the 2 kids. And the kids aren't at her school every day, and my daughter's at some sporting event every day, practically. So
Mhm.
it wasn't costing Atlas a whole lot of money to give me drinking water, but they just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
The DEP came. I didn't call them. Atlas called them.
Okay.
And I guess it's just their protocol. They came. They tested my water, took pictures of the sand in the water, called me back, said that they got some results, that it wasn't drinkable. They were going to check the geological formation of the property behind me to see if possibly if there was sandstone underground and maybe I'm getting sand from water running over the sandstone. And I said, well, that'd be pretty funny for it just happening all of a sudden now.
Mhm.
This house is 30-some years old and nobody's ever had sand in it before. So I've never never got mailed any direct results.
Okay. And when did the DEP contact you?
Right after Atlas, that was all last year, the end of last year.
Okay. Was the end of 2009?
Pardon me?
The end of 2009?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all pretty
I
recent.
got their cards and stuff somewhere. I put it away somewhere. But,
Uh-huh.
I was giving them calls and so on.
Huh. Did Atlas ever contact you and test your water?
No, I don't think he took samples, Atlas.
Mhm.
I can't remember. I know he took pictures
Mhm.
and said he was going to get me drinking water, but
Mhm.
it's empty now. There ain't one there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have you noticed any health effects from the water?
No, I
From
haven't.
drinking the water?
Not that I'm aware of, anyway. Now that you start hearing other things going on, and you're saying like, "Oh, well, maybe that's why I've had this because of that."
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't know if it's just your conscience doing that or
Maybe
it's
it's
just
a bit of
coincidence.
stress too. Mm-hmm.
The Ron or whoever was up here I was talking to before, he asked me if I got any rashes or anything before, and I said no, not myself. But then I started thinking my girlfriend, she had it a couple times, but we thought it was detergent change,
Yeah.
sometimes. So
Uh-huh.
it's not a constant thing
Uh-huh.
with her. But he did also ask me if my filters in my pool, if they were turning black or anything from the water. And I said, not that I know of. I didn't pay attention, but I do remember a couple years ago that my whites in my laundry would get black stains on them, like a dark stain.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you start thinking back now. Well, maybe that is a reason for that.
Uh-huh.
Not all the time. It was just sometimes.
Interesting. It is easy to attribute,
Yeah.
pretty much anything that you're feeling at that point to be able to blame it on something. It's just
But I just had a stent put in last year. Maybe that's from this water.
yeah, right.
I never had symptoms and nothing ran in our family.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Would you say that the scenario has been a stressor? Has it? Have you felt stressed because of it, and because of any of the effects on the community that you feel that changed the community, or?
Not with the community or say. It's just stress that it's not getting resolved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That the fact is it's going to start costing me $30 a month or so to get water.
Yeah.
That's never been in the budget before. I never had problems with water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People in the city can say, well, we pay water all the time.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well,
They didn't pay Joel well though.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But one of the funniest things was I just bought this refrigerator this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got one, broke down, and paid the extra money to get one that makes ice cubes.
Yeah.
I can't use it.
Yeah.
And that's funny, is I got that, and it has a filter on it, and the filter clogged up in under a month.
Really?
And I started noticing towards the end when the filter was getting, before I noticed it was clogged, the light comes on when it's clogged, my ice cubes did have stuff in it. Stuff was floating on the water, because I took a bunch of ice cubes out and put it in a bowl and let it come out, and you could see stuff floating on the top of the water. I was like, this ain't good.
Yeah.
So I quit using the ice. So now I wonder if Atlas would pay for my ice.
Yeah, right? Ice delivered? That's not a bad idea.